Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is Jiunn Liu. How you doing, June?
Doing good.
So today we are talking about the Lucious Lyon No. 1. This is a Robusto-ish cigar, 5.5 inch by 50 ring gauge. Comes out of the Hatsa factory in Honduras. Wrapper is U.S. Connecticut shade. Binder is Mexican San Andres. And the filler is from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. Price point is $12.50, and the cigar was released in October of 2016. So, June, what was your pre-light experience like?
By the way, I always want to call this the Luscious Lion.
That's how I thought when I first saw it, and then I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's not spelled that way. And then I was like, I got to check out what the name of this guy is on this show, so I don't get it.
Yeah, apparently I don't watch the show, so but I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure.
watch it either. So,
Anyways, the Lucious Lion #1. I thought had a semi-oily Claro wrapper shade. Things well pressed, seems tight but visible. Cigar is really well packed and really jam packed with tobacco with virtually no give. Head is finished off with a well applied thick double cap. Moving on to the nosy experience. Smelling the wrapper, I got Fink Cedar and Barnyard. Smelling the foot, subtle dry white pepper and dry wood, and cold draw, cardboard, and dry wood. So all in all, for as much of a Connecticut shade of a cigar presentation, it's pretty good.
yeah, the wrapper was a light golden brown. There were a couple of noticeable veins because they carried a little bit of a lighter color to them. Seams were pretty easily visible, but they were smooth. The head carried two well-applied caps. There's one band, but it's pretty large. I think it runs about like 2.25 inches in length. It's primarily black with like a rose gold or copper artwork and lettering. The aroma from the wrapper was like a very light hay, while the foot had a kind of a slightly fuller hay. And the pre-light draw was a nice mix of hay and creamy leather. So, what was your flavor experience like with this cigar?
Starting from the first third, the initial quarter-inch brought forth mainly dominance of wood bitterness and hay. Past that quarter-inch mark, wood bitterness was hugely tapered, which was a good thing. And I mainly got some soft black pepper, cedar, roasted dried nuts, and medium bottom sweet cream. And I got this unique like citrus tanginess to it as well, which I typically don't get in cigars in general. So the retrohaling, stronger notes of black pepper, cedar, dried nuts. Finish was on the shorter side, mainly giving me subtle light black pepper, cedar, and dry earth. Body and strength within the entire first third was at the medium point. Moving on to the second third, the primary difference between that first third and that second third is the major lack of spice and sweetness. The black pepper is really faint, and the sweetness got lost, replaced by kind of like a generic cream note. The other flavor still was there, such as that cedar and dry roasted nuttiness. Retro, still the same. Prominent notes of black pepper, cedar, dry nuts. Finish, still short, with notes of cedar, dry earth, and soft wood bitterness. Strength and body continuously was at the medium mark. The last third was, for the most part, a replica of the second third. The only notable change I got was the wood bitterness becoming a deeper and more intense kind of a note. But it's never overpowering the remaining flavors. But still a profile that's centered around, faint black pepper, generic cream, cedar, roasted nuts. Retro, still giving me that deeper notes of black pepper, cedar, dry nuts. Finish still short with cedar, dry earth, and wood bitterness. And strength and body continuously at the medium and finish at the medium point.
Yeah, cigar started with a mellow, creamy cinnamon to go along with some wood, and the retrohale provided a fuller cinnamon with a nice zing to it. A quarter-inch in, cinnamon mellowed out a bit, and the creamy wood kind of took the main stage with the cinnamon in the background. And then at 3/4 of an inch in, the cream reduced a bit as the wood kind of moved forward, and there's still a little bit of a hint of cinnamon in the background. Cinnamon on the retrohale had calmed down, and there was an introduction of a little bit of cream, which made it much smoother. And then nearing the end of the third, the cream and the cinnamon kind of both left, and the woodiness was the lone note, and the retrohale was also just wood at that point. And the strength in the first third was just kind of at a mild medium. And then getting into the second third, a little cream came back to join that primary wood note, and then at a ½ inch in, the wood gained a little bit of a greenness to it, while like the light creaminess remained there. And then at an inch in, the greenness went away and kind of goes back to the general woodiness with a little bit of cream. The retrohale was carrying that same slightly creamy wood. And then as the third came to a close, that creamy woodiness remained and a slight bitterness had joined in, and the strength had kind of bumped up a little bit to be right at medium. And then getting into the final third, creamy wood, slight bitterness was continuing on. And then at a 1/4 inch in, that bitterness faded away and the cream kind of also slightly lessened a little bit while the woodiness maintained its level. ½ inch in, a little bit of a char joined in with the wood, and that slight creaminess was still remaining there. And the retrohale had also taken on that charred wood note. And that's pretty much how the cigar finished out for me. And the strength had bumped up to a little bit to just be slightly above medium. So performance-wise, what was your experience like?
Perfect. So perfect burn, perfect draw, picture perfect burn. Total smoking time, around 50 minutes. Very good. Ashes held on tight, solid 1.5 inch increments. Burn line razor sharp the whole time. The draw was perfect. The firmness felt within the pre-light experience that I caught caused absolutely zero issues for the actual performance of the cigar.
Yeah, burn line was just slightly wavy, but it always kept up with itself, so I didn't have to pay any attention to it. Ash held on like 1.75 inch increments, so it was pretty good. It was almost like at each third mark that it was holding on, so that was nice. Draw was just a little bit slightly tighter than I prefer, but it didn't cause any issues with the smoking experience, so it was very good overall for both burn and draw. So overall, what were your thoughts?
I thought this cigar was more in line with kind of like that, your grandfather's mild Connecticut shade offering. I thought the cigar was overall smooth and easygoing, but maybe it was a little too easygoing to the point where I felt like, the flavors became a little too faint and muted. And especially when that spice and that sweetness got lost and got shuffled in the muted aspects of things, it was disappointing, and a lot of depth was lost because of it. I say, for someone that's getting into cigars to try something like this, or if you want to, I don't know, ball out with the cask, you could buy some of these and try it out.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I mean, I thought this was a pretty good traditional Connecticut cigar. So kind of what most people think of when they think of Connecticut, it's kind of got that smooth, mild type of level. Started out mild medium, kind of bumped up to just above medium by the end. So nothing too overpowering. Just a slight bitterness in the end, but no real off-putting flavors. The price is a bit up there if you're paying, because you're paying for the licensing fee for the show along with the cost of the cigar. So there's just an additional cost that's kind of tacked onto it. But you can already find it below MSRP. So I'm sure price will go down as time goes on. As the show gets older, after the show goes off the air, or whatever. I'm sure if this still hangs around, it'll probably go down in price. But if you're a fan of U.S. Connecticut Shades, or you're a fan of Empire, the show, I think it's definitely worthwhile to try this out and smoke it and see. I could definitely see this being a really good morning smoke, especially pairing it with some coffee or something like that. So I thought it was a pretty good offering. So getting into the scores, I gave it a 6, and you gave it a 6.33. How do you think that matches up with your experience?
It matched up well. I mean, I think our score would have been pretty similar if I didn't give it a perfect score on construction.
Right.
But the lower sixes tell me, in this particular example, decent flavor offering, amazing construction, and that's what it bumped up to into that 6 range for me.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'd kind of summarize mine as well. It's just a really easygoing, smooth cigar. If you're looking for tons of flavors, they're not going to be in this cigar. It's just kind of a nice, mellow, easy smoking experience. So, price, like I said, price point's up there. So I'm not sure people are going to find this as a daily smoke until the price comes down on it. But otherwise, it's definitely worth trying if you come across one, or if somebody offered me another one to smoke, I'd definitely smoke it. Any other final thoughts from you?
No, I mean, you never know. If this thing sells next year, we might see like a Lucious Tiger or something. I don't know.
Maybe. So thank you for catching this video on YouTube. Just be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+. And all of our review recaps are now available on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.